bat time, same bat channel. Brando's at the big desk.
Take it easy, guys.
Hey guys, welcome in. Yeah, 2 o'clock. We're heading into the final couple hours of the day here in a bit of a downward trend right now. The overall market has been red for most of the morning, and into the mid-afternoon we go here. 0.76 for the S&P, the Dow 0.72, 0.68 for the NASDAQ there, 0.85 here in Toronto for the TSX. Really just crude oil standing out here as far as positivity is concerned. Yeah, big move down for both Bitcoin and Ethereum once again, back to 3.5%, essentially day lows for both at the moment. We just got Fed minutes coming through as well, FOMC minutes from the last meeting. We'll sift through those and see what the overall market reaction is going to be, but I'm not really expecting anything out of the ordinary or anything we haven't heard already. 0.67 there, 0.66 at the moment for the S&P 500. Really, the two of note here, tech and healthcare stocks, going to be the weakest and worst off overall. Just reading about CRM coming up next week with earnings for Salesforce. So notably strong there this afternoon, up 1.1. Intuit 7.25, ADI, MCHP, NXPI as well. Notably downside, healthcare stocks, as I mentioned, some of the real estate names, those little REITs under pressure. Banks are weak, industrials weak as well. Strength down here in energy, as we saw some of the healthcare names, mostly hardware equipment makers, going to be positive. Although I'll bring in Max and Sean here and get going as far as the overall market, making a bit of a move, guys, off of these minutes from the latest Fed meeting. I'll sift through these and bring in anything of note.
All right, yeah, thanks, Brent. I'm hearing some stuff. The biggest note that I see here is FOMC officials agreed inflation was still unacceptably high. So, I think we kind of know that their target rate is near that 2%. So when you're printing sixes and whatnot,
you're muted.
You know.
There we go. Hello, I'm back. Hey, what's going on? That's my bad. Yeah, the only note that I'm seeing right here, and thank you for the pointing out that we are muted there. Officials agreed inflation was still unacceptably high. So, you know, and that's why I turned to Max and was like, okay, well, when you're printing sixes and stuff like that on CPI, you obviously are getting a little high when their target rate is between 2 and 3%, 2 maybe to be exact. So
I also see they say they have concerns about the debt limit not being raised too, so maybe just adding fuel to the fire on that, but market's not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, these are minutes from their last meeting, right? And so now obviously the debt ceiling is now front and center, so we'll wait to see what does happen from that concern. But yeah, I don't know, still kind of the same. I've been tweeting some of my, or not tweeting them, but putting them in the chat and talking to people on the midday show. Welcome, now you are here. We're gonna get ready for Power Hour at 3 o'clock. We do have Brian Shannon coming through as well to talk all about his anchored VWAP book. That should be really exciting. I wanna talk to him for a couple minutes as well, but Brendan's got something.
Yeah, just quickly, guys, one more thing to add to that from these minutes. Fed staff continuing to forecast a mild recession starting later this year. Followed by a modestly paced recovery. At the end of that note, you mentioned, Sean, declining slower than they had expected. So unacceptably high and declining slower than they had accepted. Those are really the only two things, though, that stand out as far as these minutes are concerned.
All right, so yeah, that's I'm seeing sort of the same thing there. So it doesn't look like it's anything. And I don't know, we had a lot of hype. Like I know Arun was waiting around for Fed minutes and whatnot. And I kind of shrug it off, like we kind of give a stink face to it. Like I've never really seen it be that much of an impact. Obviously, there's been times when something was leaked that maybe no one expected, not leaked, but presented in the minutes. Yeah. And again, it's just someone sitting there writing down all the minutes from their latest meeting, and then it comes out so we can all hear exactly what's talked about at that round table, besides what restaurant they were going out to after the meeting. Okay, so I don't know, we may or may not have a rundown. The biggest trade that I had today, we were looking for some longs, and we picked up this Netflix right there at 359.30. First out right there, 60s, next out 60s, so that's $1, and now we just ramped up into the money. What up to T-Daddy in the chat there? He was talking about liking that trade there. So up to 362, we'll hold on to Netflix. We're out of 2/3 already though, because the longs have been a little difficult. And then we're gonna be red on one name today, and it's position pending, and it's just because we got a little too excited here with NVIDIA. So we went short early right there at 300. It went all the way down to 298. It was $2 in the money, but we have a $17 winner one time on NVIDIA, by the way.
Wow.
So then we went short again right here before getting stopped out. So we gave back everything because we didn't have any covers. So we were red, and I was like, come on, really? So then we went short again, made it all back. Short again, lost it at 301 until finally catching lightning in a bottle a little bit and shorting that last little bit at 301. Cover for 50 cents, cover for $1, cover for $1.50 on NVIDIA, and now we sort of just hold that last piece to see where we go. I'm going to be negative on NVIDIA, not on NVIDIA per se, but on this market until we break back above VWAP or some sort of an important level. So right now the NASDAQ actually just right now, as I say that, we just were above there, but now we've come back in. So we were really close, man, to getting out of a lot of our shorts. We'll talk about our spots. You can see I'm still short right now. Ford, wow, what a great trade Ford's been today. We'll go bang on that. We'll discuss that as Ford's one of my top stocks. So Apple short has been absolutely cash today, as well as we talk about the sticky note and we talk about wanting to short this name. So there it is. We did have one blowout top, fine, but Apple, my number one name today as we hit the short. We're still baby short into Apple, but we have a lot to review. So let's go over it. NVIDIA now almost back to flat. So you have the AMD short. It looks like we're getting squeezed out of some of these positions.
Yeah, getting a little squeeze here on AMD, but I'm looking at high of day, this 107.60 for a stop on this one. Just didn't fill me. I had a bid at 107.01. It goes to 02. Classic. I guess you got to be a little more cheeky with those outs, but yeah, really I'm looking for like 80s and then a continuation of the move. We got this kind of uptrend on AMD all day, so given that we have this nice kind of clean top up here, I'm thinking that we reject off of this and then make the next leg down. Yeah, I mean, market basically doing nothing, flat off the bottom. We obviously got a little bit of a run up on the NASDAQ that I'm sure Sharif and Obi covered well on the midday show, but kind of muted, haven't even gotten to 13,650. So just kind of chilling in this range, and I think we could definitely see some more selling in these chip names, which the bottom kind of the balloon popped a little bit here, waiting for NVIDIA's earnings. I guess that's kind of. I mean, I'd be scared holding NVIDIA. Not scared, but like, I'm definitely taking profit if I'm holding that thing from the bottom.
I mean, that's what we said.
And you're at 300. I mean, 300 is still a crazy price for this name.
Prad was asking about all-time highs today. I mean, it could hit 340, has to hit, right? So it's not out of the question.
That would be crazy.
I'll check it too. But what was it yesterday? 6% was the option.
Yeah, 5.7, I believe.
Yeah, so 5.7 on $300. That's 6, 12,
$18 move.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, so we'll see about that. That could get it going there right now. Just before we throw back to Brendan and Sharif over there, I just want to give you guys a trade idea that we have on right now. We still are part short on Google, but just looking here. Brad, if we can just go to the screen quickly, then we'll go back to Brendo just real quick. I just want to talk about it because I'm going to go short Google again anywhere near VWAP. So we'll take a piece. I'm offering right now 70. It's just dropped down right now. This just happened. So we were going to take a piece at 75, which is right there. It didn't hit us, but we were waiting for it. And then again into 80s. That's VWAP. And then just trying to respect this top right there of 121.16. So Google could be in a range for a bit, so we're not going to get heavy into this trade until it comes up more near 121, but we're going to watch out for that 121.13 with VWAP right here at 80. So that's just a trade that I'm working with here. You can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades on, but let's go over to the desk if we're ready. I don't know if we're going to do a rundown, but let's go over and see what we're talking about. As right now, honestly, it doesn't look like there's much happening on this Fed minutes release.
All right, as mentioned, to kick things off, stay around, don't go anywhere, obviously. 2:45 coming up in about a half an hour, guys. Brian Shannon going to be on the show. We're going to give this away when he's on the show, so we'll talk about that more coming up here. But we'll talk anchored VWAP. He's going to talk a little bit about the overall market, what he thinks about where we are, where we could go, things like that. Individual stocks, some things that he's looking at or been looking at, both on a swing basis and on an intraday day trading basis. So I'll give you a rundown on how he uses anchored VWAP and why he's so confident in it. So 2:45, stay around for Mr. Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends coming through. In the meantime, let's talk some big tech as we were this morning to kick things off. It was a bit of a slow news day in this group overall, really no significant news catalysts individually. There was a couple of minor headlines, but nothing really serious to talk about. I was just bringing up Apple here because this is what's happening right now. We're headed back downside. This is a 1-minute chart. So back towards this last little pivot on the higher time frame. But nice move anyways out of the gate this morning. Went red to green for a period for Apple.
Yeah, Meta's the one that I had my eye on. I mean, Amazon started the day green, but Meta was flirting with that break even. It's since gone green. They announced today that they were initiating that new round of layoffs. Not new, it's been priced in already, but actually executing with it, Brendo, 248 the high.
Nice look overall. We were wondering, guys, if we're going to see some leadership here. But overall, as we said, the market kind of in a wait and see as far as all things debt ceiling is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly why we've been going short the last couple of days. And I mean, the sticky note's been littered with some shorts, and I just think it's just been appropriate. I mean, some of these names, look at yesterday for Apple. I just blew this up right now. I mean, this is why it's on the sticky note for a short. Big movement to the downside, and there it is. So, you know, we waited for a pump up. We talked about 172. We did get stopped out when it took 172.20 the first time, but we got right back in, and it's still printing. So this is, again, another one of those sticky note names. The disappointing part is it's only down 0.17 right now for Apple. So, you know, there it goes. Now, okay, we don't have any more short, but we still have the same short on board. The question says, is tech a long? Oh, yeah, by the way, Google also another name that we were short today, and that's still working. So I just want to stay short everything. It's fine. But the name that's, because it says, is it a long? You know, we're still long right now into Netflix. And Netflix is taking out VWAP right now up to 362. I've really liked this spot for Netflix. It came into yesterday, sort of top area there. Plus we had the bottom from today of 359 or so. I mean, that bottom is actually 350. 865. You do have a wick down there to 357. I don't even know if that happened, but we were going long off 359 right there, and that's been working out for us. So it's the only long we've had all day, man. So to say that Texas is a long, I don't think it's a long, and I think it's going to be a short for quite a while still. So yeah, you know, treat that with however you want. But for me, I think tech remains a short. We've talked about some levels, Max. I mean, 12.5 on the NASDAQ, that seems a little bit overblown to the downside, but I do think there's a possibility that we retrace a little bit. The NASDAQ has been absolutely a monster, and if there's going to be money coming out of the market, it's probably on these big cap tech names, right? So we're down through earnings season. It was a great season, and I just feel like there is more downside as Apple is now just keeps printing lower. We're now $1 in the money on this trade. So the only one to worry about for me, what are you going to talk about, Amazon good, would be NVIDIA, because again, short, took out the profit, holding one last piece. Looks like it wants to take out 301 right now. My stop is on the high side of 301.25. So that's this top wick right now. I was going to get some more short, but we're above VWAP, and this doesn't look like a wise thing to do. So let's just wait to see if we get stopped out here on NVIDIA. But yeah, great successful day here trading these big cap tech names.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about these in the morning, right? We were like, Amazon could be the one that stays strong, or Meta could be the one that stays strong. And what happens? Both of them positive, everything else negative, I believe. Maybe Apple retraced a bit. I don't think it got to positive. No, Apple kind of flat. But like, yeah, Amazon holds this 115 level, goes to the upside. Meta, same thing, holds that 245. So right now, definitely a stock picking market if you want to go long, and you better be right about those stocks, because the ones that did go down, NVIDIA, AMD kind of went down, now we're back up. But like a lot of these names just kind of died this morning. Tesla specifically, now back though. I guess we have Tesla as one of the next questions, so we'll leave that one. But yeah, I mean, not a long this morning, maybe a long off the dips, I guess. But you got to be pretty precise when you're longing these large caps into a market like this.
All right, let's go on here. We were talking some XPeng this morning. Not a good report for XPEV. It was down to start things off in the morning. Hasn't really recovered. It was all about the delivery numbers. Not only were they worse than expected in the current quarter, the forecast for Q2 and full year lowered as well. And yeah, wider loss here for XPeng.
Yeah, being protected by this $8 support, but who knows for how long, Brendo. This chart is exactly the antithesis of its counterpart, Li Auto. This is XPEV, who missed on deliveries, as Brendo just talked about. This is Li, who kind of had a counter move, positive on the day, up 1%. They're talking about 50,000 to 80,000 vehicles per quarter this year, and they delivered the last time around.
Yeah, ended up being a bit of a tricky trade, I guess is the best word for it, coming out of the gate, but ends up a nice move for XPeng.
Okay, XPeng, huh? Yeah, didn't even look at this. We looked at it in the pre-market. We looked at it. We were waiting for 9. That obviously didn't come through. And as Brendan said, a big flush there off the open from it started at like 925. There goes Nvidia. So we'll get stopped out on Nvidia and flush ourselves out deployed as it takes out that 301.25. That's the only red name we have on board today, and it's not. It's a couple cups of coffee. It's like a flat white plus a latte plus maybe a macchiato, maybe an espresso shot for you.
Flat white in this city is getting pretty expensive, man.
I know.
I wouldn't want to lose a flat white today.
That's why you gotta make more money. XPEV today again off the flush, flushed all the way down there, bounced off 8 flat. I mean that's a great trade now up to 830. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. But yeah, XPeng again pretty disappointing. That 52-week low is 617 or something like that. But there we go. We got a bottom. So I'm going to look at this tomorrow. This is going to be a second day play for me on XPeng. If we can get any longs down here into 8, 810, something like that, I think it's worth looking at for tomorrow. So XPeng not on my radar now moving forward, but I don't like trading these Chinese ADRs in the afternoon. A lot of the time they'll go to sleep. The one that I do like, of course, is Alibaba, just because it'll move a little bit more. But XPeng on earnings day could move as well. There's Alibaba almost triple. Double, a little more than double. The market today, as there it goes, Alibaba getting back to 82. That could also be a short going back to the pre-market lows, 80, 81.80, 81.85. But yeah, XPeng a miss, not great on deliveries, and no surprise there. Just tricky. I wasn't going long, Max. So unless somebody thought about that long, then you had me beat because I was only looking short on XPeng.
No, we covered this in the morning, and it's like I was really disappointed with these earnings, but I'm also disappointed in this move today. We only get down to $8. I figured we'd be trading $7.50, maybe $7 today on XPEV. So pretty muted move and no pump in the morning. Didn't give me anything to get short. I needed at least $8.50 to get short on this name. Bounces off 8. Couldn't say that I would ever have bet that XPEV would just wick, what is that, $7.99 and then hold 8 all day. Oh no, the low is actually $8 exactly, so can't even break 8 today. There must be a massive bid down there. But yeah, not an expected move on XPEV. I would have thought we'd be at least down like 15% today on terrible delivery numbers.
All right, Tesla was on watch this morning as well. A little bit of relative strength coming through as far as pre-market action was concerned. Really no significant headlines other than maybe what's to come after the close tonight. If you haven't heard, apparently Ron DeSantis going to announce his candidacy with Elon by his side, which is kind of interesting, obviously, for both sides of the scale for Tesla. But as far as the company is concerned, we were discussing late in the day yesterday that Elon came out and said that they're close, quote unquote, close to deciding on a new spot for their next gigafactory, which has been in the work for what did he call it before? A furnace that he shovels money into?
Ash furnace. Yeah, no, we know that there's one opening up in Monterrey, I believe, in Mexico. So that one was already announced. Be interesting to see where he opens up the other one. He was also in the CEO summit, council summit, excuse me, in London yesterday. He made certain pronouncements with respect to AI. He wants to take on Microsoft and Google, who he sees are in the lead. The stock did well today. If we come to the chart here, it made a bit of a bottom at 178. Now it's been retracing up, looking to take that. Yesterday's close, Brendo, 185.80 yesterday.
Yeah, still negative here, but I mean, overall, the market is as well, guys. There was a bit of a spot there at one point for Tesla on the long side.
All right, I think you traded it, no, today?
I wanted to trade Tesla today. I had 180.50 as the level, and yeah, I mean, if you look at it on the 1 minute chart, doesn't look like a whole lot, but then it's funny when you zoom out, we go to like the 15-minute chart here, and I mean, we don't spend that much time below 180.50 today, and when we come back up, it's just like a clean hold and right back to the upside, right into that 183.50 price target. Now kind of rolling over and maybe looking like a decent short back into like 181 on Tesla. But yeah, I mean, sometimes Tesla needs to violate a level by like $1.50 or $2 before it shows that it's actually going to hold and do the expected bounce off that level. But yeah, no trades for me. I was looking for it to just kind of snap through that 180 and snap right back, and that just did not happen. That was a pretty clean break there on that key level on Tesla today.
So I'm going to talk about Tesla in a minute, but we'll just go to another EV name right now. We'll go bang on that one because Ford today, we talked about wanting to get short in front of VWAP. That's exactly what happened. We took it first early at 35, then we got it again at 39s, and there's the drip, man. We got a whole bunch of outs here at 25, 26. That was really the key. I just bring it up because we just took a piece out right now. Debating getting out of that Netflix. It's $2.50, $2 right now, and 50 cents in the money on Netflix. We'll wait on that. Okay, Tesla. Look, I'm sitting on the bid right now. Next order is 100 shares. Yeah, probably. We'll wait to see there on Tesla. Look, a little drop down in here to 181.50. I think that's where we want to get long. We're above the VWAP now. We've sort of been cruising. We do have some support underneath VWAP right now at 180.50. So that's going to be a level of concern for me that I'm going to look at. But other than that, yeah, we'll have it fall back. It's still down 1.5%. So, not super excited, but this is great momentum. It's a nice bounce back. We talked about some of the levels that were going to come into work today, and that was 180. Shout out to Daryl and whatnot. We did have a little bit of a dip down, touching 178 flat. That's a tough trade for sure. So let's just play here. We know that we have some support here at 180.50, I feel like. So again, some support early. Then obviously we dripped down and took out some stops probably there at 180, and it kept going back in. Eventually we broke it. So I like this long. I'm going to be sitting at 180.50 to get the first long. Then we'll watch out for 181 on VWAP, and then we'll get out of the way if it takes 180.50. But I like the long here in Tesla. Holy Netflix, man. There it goes. We are now rocking. Now up $2.70 on NFLX. But look what we're running into. Support. This will be resistance. Resistance at the top side. Let's break it, man, and then we'll get up even higher on this name. I like Netflix here. It's starting to go. We found a good level right there, 359. It's 250 in the money. I don't have any plans to get rid of Apple or Ford or Google right now, so I feel like we'll be sitting in these positions for a bit. Microsoft interesting as well. I know Obi was talking about IEP, but we can't trade it here. There's something about limited on some of these ADRs. Or I don't know exactly the reason, so I shouldn't say much, but we're unable to trade this. But look what's happened here. They had that Hindenburg report, Brendan and Sharif. You probably remember that. I know Sharif was just talking about it, so maybe he's more up on it. But nice move to the downside. It's been literally crushed. I wonder if something else came out here on May 19th because it kind of settled down, found a base, but there goes IEP. I know there's some talk in the chat about it, but we are blocked and restricted from trading that. So IEP, nice downside move there. And wow, yeah, this is the Hindenburg research on Icon Enterprises there. Something going on with this name, but let's throw it back over to the desk.
Quick note, guys, Abercrombie, another one that we kind of mentioned in passing this morning in the pre-market, if you're with us, just made a day high on decent volume as well. What a day for ANF here. They raised their forecast and specifically talked about inventories declining finally, which has been a problem for these types of stocks for quite some time. But yeah, 28% here for Abercrombie and Fitch on the day. 30, the obvious next stop, which is going to get into these levels. You got to go all the way back to the beginning of the year, though, for Abercrombie, trying to get maybe back to green on the year for ANF. What's going on? KSS was the other one that we were discussing. Kohl's obviously up on earnings as well to start things off. I mean, looking at the two, nowhere near as exciting right now as Abercrombie, but nice look for Kohl's today.
Definitely continuation in Abercrombie that we did not see in Kohl's. Here's a chart on Kohl's. We have that big move up on earnings at about 6:30 a.m. We give up the ghost right at the bell. I'll make that 23 high, and we've been trading below VWAP since. But Abercrombie looking like an absolute beast over here. Yeah, like you said, 30 the high. But this one has been interesting because Obi and I were talking about Lululemon during the midday show and how they were able to get rid of most of their inventory without marking it down. I think that I read somewhere along the lines that their markdowns weren't as bad, so they were able to maintain some of their margins. So that's the play here.
I wonder if they got rid of their cologne as well. That was piling up in storage. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Lulu, funny you mentioned that. Earnings next week, guys, for Lululemon. So something to look forward to. All right, Max, Kohl's or ANF today?
I mean, ANF is the winner today. Did not expect to see that kind of move out of a name like this. Really no volume to go along with it either. So tough trade here, but obviously get long somewhere. This is kind of exactly the move that I usually like to look for that liquidity grab move, and then hang on to that all day. Look for 30, I guess. 30 fail break might be a way to trade this one. Sometimes when the gas runs out, these ones kind of crash right down to VWAP, but great move for that one. And then KSS, obviously, like Sean and I both talked about the 22 level in the pre-market, and the 22 was like the inflection point today. You could take the breakout, you can take the breakdown, and I mean, both of them pay you. So actually not a bad trade today on KSS. Just didn't really have it today.
I was looking at this Netflix trade still. Yeah, look, I think retail's exciting, you know, when they report and things like that. I've sort of stepped away from trading. Yeah, I was just looking at Netflix, just broke above $3, so now we're $3 in the money. You know, the name that's going to be interesting to me when they report, and let me find out right now. I like to trade Macy's. I was going to say, what's a $20 stock? It's only a $15 stock. Okay. Macy's been getting killed here. Let me just refresh the chart. So when do we report? Still a ways away. Well, actually, June 1st isn't that far away right now. Macy's coming on June 1st. Actually, short flow much more under control now at only 8%. So that's a name that I like to look at. Wow. Yeah, look at Macy's. You want to talk about a name that's primed to get destroyed right here. This is down to $15 and just bouncing around right now off of some pretty negative movement. Wow, Macy's, okay. So let's watch out for that. Yeah, KSS, the key thing about this name, of course, was that we had, you see, Max has to benefit. I had no idea if it was a New York or NASDAQ name, and then it shows up. So that's, I would have guessed New York. But yeah, the thing that I thought about was it was a 20% short float, but that didn't seem to matter early. It was starting to go back up to the upside. Both you and I liked sort of a break long through 23, I felt like, but that didn't happen. And then I was hoping that would get to 24 before we'd be able to short it. But that short was 23, and we missed it. So, you know, again, bias caught a little bit there. We could have been short that name, but look at there. There's the VWAP, the 20 period and the 21 period break, 50 period, all the way to the downside, and we've been under VWAP ever since. So I really do like this trade if we can get it back up to like 21 and change, but other than that, you're still down. It's 2015, it's moving lower. So you could even have a trade on a break down below 2015 right now. So I'd watch out for a 20 break on KSS this afternoon. I think that could come into play here. Some Panda.
Miss Katrina asking me a question. Palo Alto was the last one on the list there. Pan W with a nice report. I mean, there's really no negatives about this. Right across the board, they beat top and bottom line, increase their forecast for the current quarter, full year, as I said, right across the board, including a few analyst moves at the bottom here. Evercore raising their price target 240 from 215 on an upgrade as well.
Cybersecurity top on the list. A lot of hacking. So this is in prime focus.
Shout out to Nextech 3D bringing you the rundown this afternoon. Check them out. NTAR on the CSE here in Toronto, guys. Shout out to Nextech 3D.
Yeah, what up, Nextech 3D? Yeah, a nice little sponsor there. We appreciate that one, and then give another shout out to them. Hit that QR code below and find out what's up with Nextech. Okay, yeah, Palo Alto strong. I mean, needless to say, I got to give a good shout out to my guy over here, Max. Thank you so much for trading it, because I didn't. We had a 196 long written down there, and that seems to be that bottom that hit there. But again, that was just kind of fluky. Like I said, we're going to go 196, 195. It's very tough to trade these names, especially off earnings, especially when the spread, I think, was like $1 when it was opening up. Very, very hard name to trade off of earnings unless you, I mean, if you get the name wrong, like we did on Alibaba that day, then it's destruction. So I didn't want to sit there. If there was any level that we wanted to sit at, it was going to be like 193 down here. But there it is right there. It comes down to 196 and actually breaks it and just goes a little lower. And then boom, right up there to the upside. We also wrote down that we like that 203 take high side. And that was the 52-week high right there at 203. You take that, and it goes all the way to 206, 207. So definitely some missed opportunities. Shout out to Ian Rispetto and everybody else that was super chatting the last couple of days. I've talked about a like on Pan W. I like the name. I like the space. I like everything that's involved with. So there it goes, man. And if we call up a different charts just because we won't show the split adjusted price there. There's the high, 203.44, listed on e-signal right there, and there it is taking it out. So that was that level that we talked about, possibly going long on the break. It worked on momentum early, but right now, you're right at that same level again, pulling right back in. So I'm not I'm excited to have Brian Shannon on, which is coming on very, very soon, so we'll listen for that. But for right now, I'm going to let PanW sort of lie there, not really trade it today. But you are under VWAP right now, and a VWAP break, especially a break through 205, might get you back to this 207.50. It's just, do you think the market's going to go this afternoon or maybe continue to pull back? I'm on the pullback camp, so I'm going to be short if we get up here, but I don't even want to trade this name short, so I take that away. I like the short better, but I won't be in it. I really like this 203 break lower again, but then we're shorting a name that's up 7%. So I'm going to stay away from PanW, Max. You're the one that hit this one, and again, congratulations to you. That was a great trade. Why don't you tell the people what you did?
Yeah, just very simply structured trade here. 200 breakout. It consolidated just below there. 200 a big level. 200 pre-market high. Basically, I think it was 199.90 or something like that. Very easy to hit trade. You just type in the order, and if it prints against you, you punch out. So all you got to do is pay attention and hope it keeps going in your favor. I should have probably been using this mug today and just held it all the way to the top to 207 there, but got a little antsy once I got $2 in the money and took too much out, but great trade there on PanW. Pretty simple when these kinds of trades work. They don't work that often, but the risk to reward potential on them is quite high. So, earnings name, volume coming in, got to take it, and great trade there on PanW.
I'm going to, I guess we'll probably wrap that up, so thanks. We'll get that off the board. You know what I was going to say, Max? I think they actually do work a little more often than what you think, and that's because of an earnings name.
Exactly, yeah.
Right, so I think you got to be very, very patient with what you're doing. On a day like today, maybe Tesla, like that 180 break, still pretty good. Nice round number, goes that $2. And I don't think you mentioned you probably got out of too much. That's kind of like in hindsight, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, if we knew that 207 was coming, then obviously we would have held for the moon on that as well. Just like this Netflix trade, same type of thing. What is Tesla software? I don't know. We'll talk about that. There is that Ron DeSantis sort of Twitter space tonight. That's sort of been what the news has been here for Tesla. So I'm, they did land yesterday, all their cars here in Canada from the Shanghai plant. That was a part of the sort of the move up there yesterday and then the eventual fade out. But right now, Tesla's coming back. It's hitting the 50 period, the 200 period on a 1 minute chart. A lot of people don't use, this is just for scalping. So I'm going to actually give it, VWAP don't lie on the time frame. So we're going to give it down here to 181.50. See if there's some support in this range right there. So a little bit more down, and we're going to try along in Tesla. And then if we're wrong, I'm going to take more at 181. Not if we're wrong, but I'm planning on taking more at 181. And then I'm going to watch out for this 180.50 area. If it drops back down below there, then this will join the ranks of NVIDIA to be a red name on the board. Ooh, NVIDIA. 302. Why did we stop there? Okay, so could have, should have, would have, but it's only down $1. But anyways, that would have been 1-to-1 risk to reward there. You take a 302 short, you're definitely getting out if it hits that 303. The problem with NVIDIA is we've already sort of made our bed. We hit that short early, didn't take anything out, just hoping that it didn't retrace back to 300. So there's that play that you said, Max. There's the 300 break on an pre-earnings day, all the way down to $2, baseline, should have got out,
yeah.
And then all the way back up. We hit that short again, get a little bit out, get stopped out there, hit it, get stopped out, and so NVIDIA today, too choppy. Too many back and forths, too much action in this 300 to 302 range. So I'm going to stay away from NVIDIA unless we break that bottom again of 298. You still in AMD? Good.
Yeah.
I know it's not. I know nothing's really.
It's just chopping around though, right?
That's okay. Chop. So again. And look, we have Brian Shannon coming on. So, there is a position called cash. And sometimes you do want to sit there and wait for something to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that rhetorically or anything like that. It's just like, if this market continues to bleed, we already have the Apple short. So we're going to let this bleed again. Obviously, getting short of Apple in here at 171.50 could have been a play as well. But it just didn't look good enough. Too choppy back and forth in here. Either goes up to the upside and we're able to short it where we were, and we tweeted it out. This is a big position for me and my number one stock today. Well, actually, Netflix is now my number one stock as I see that, but that's still unrealized in the money 250. But still, nice move to the downside there for Apple. And this is right where we started to respect 171. So it wouldn't be a surprise if we do bounce off this level again. So with that being said, if I am expecting some chop here, we already have Google. I feel like we can get out of Apple now. Well, it's $1 in the money. Max, you want me to give this to your 21 period right here? That would be VWAP. A little bit higher than that is where VWAP is. Maybe we want to reload the short, but I'm not convinced of that. Bouncing off 171, should have probably taken that out. All right, your thing's at 171.30. We're going to get out. If it breaks above 171.30, we'll take 85 cents on this trade and then end our day on Apple just in case it drifts back. Man, the NASDAQ, we've seen this happen over and over again where it just chills out, man. It had the big move early up to the upside, faded out. That's that move, and now we're just hovering around. So let's get out, man. If Apple takes that 171.30, we'll get out. So how about that? 171. Let's go 25. 171.25. We're out on Apple. Just going to put that order in, and how I do it is just like this. Boom. You can watch me do this. 171.26. Max 27. What's your favorite number in the 20s? Higher than 27?
Higher than 27? Not a lot of choices there.
All right, I'm going to use 27. Right there. I was going to give you who is your a favorite hockey player of yours? Because
I would have gone with 24 if you're asking for 20s. Classic Brian McCabe number.
Yeah, I don't mind Brian McCabe. What is that? Was Lafferty, I think, was 23 this year? I don't know who was 24 if we had
28? 28 maybe? Lafferty?
I don't know. I went with 27.
28? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Either way, he's golfing right now, which you're going to join. I see you got your golf shirt on. That's really nice.
Oh, I forgot to throw my golf hat on, actually. Might as well.
Well, now you're rubbing me the wrong way.
We're going to talk about the Leafs. You keep supporting them no matter what, whether they're in the playoffs or not.
I mean, people are still going to pay ridiculous prices for Leaf tickets. Okay, but anyways, Apple, yeah, there's the. You can keep the hat on, man. It's up to you. 127.30. We don't have any policies on this show. 171.25. No, all kidding aside, you can put the hat on if you want. All right, so we're going to give that out if that does drop down. That's really the only trade that we have working on right now. Netflix is dropping off that one stat 362.50, but again, really no reason to do that. I don't want to get out of these trades though, man. Because then we won't have any longs in case the market does go. But you're just dancing around VWAP, nothing to worry about here. I think if we take VWAP and then don't hold this level, we can get out 361. But then we're giving up so much, 362.50. Let's put an order at 362.50 to get out. Okay, it bounces back up. We're going to get out of Netflix as well to end that trade. So it's never a winner until you put it in your pocket, Max. So
exactly.
That's going to be something right there. So let's do that. 362.50. We're going to put an offer for Netflix. If it hits, it hits, and then I'll be upset when it goes to 365. But honestly, I feel like this is fine. If the NASDAQ just continues to do this, let's put the money in our pocket and move on. So that's going to be my trade here for Netflix, 362.50.
I just spotted this meta level at 248. Been consolidating below here all day. I don't know that I have 248 as I guess it was yesterday, maybe this will load here, but it was a afternoon kind of high here yesterday, this 248 on meta. Now we're consolidating below here. So this is a spot where you could, and the market could make a decision. Does it break out here off this 248, or are you taking 248 back through short, or getting in front of 248 short? I'm going to watch what happens here, and as I talk about it, it starts to kind of heat up. Is the market's kind of pressing up a little bit.
Apple just got me out there.
Pretty muted action on the market. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking maybe this gets to 248.20 and then plunges back through. And then you can get a short back into these levels here. You're giving it 20 cents to get 80. But we'll see what happens there. Meta, obviously, one of the strong ones today, along with Amazon, which Amazon, and I have these levels, and I got long here 1, 2, 3 times at this 115.70. Then it comes back up, supports it 5 times. I'm not long. I should be long. Would be almost $1 in the money there. So Amazon, the strong one today, I guess, and Netflix. Netflix is up, right? Yeah, up 1.7. Amazon up 1.3. So both these ones strong in the face of a weak market. Those are the ones that you would like to be long. I don't think that Amazon goes from here, though, so no trade there, nor am I going to short it. So just hang on to this AMD, I guess, and my eye is on that Meta 248, but I'm not super convinced on that one. That would be I don't know.
I have another sad death in the entertainment business to report to. Yeah, it's Tina Turner. No. I have to phone my mother. Yeah, 83. Want to dance with somebody? Is that her? Want to make a with somebody?
But he says no.
No. Anyways, yeah, Tina Turner there. So Ike and Tina Turner. You heard of that group, or those two?
I've definitely heard that name before.
All right, I Will Survive. Yeah, I don't know. That's too bad. Tina Turner classic right there. All right, so here comes Netflix. You know what? Scrap it. Oh, that's Whitney. Whitney Houston, another one there. Oh man, love some Whitney Houston though. Wow, Whitney Houston classic right there. Oh, I know what Tina Turner is. Rolling, rolling, rolling. No. All right. Yeah. Big wheels. Yeah, big wheels keep on turning. There was some sort of a dance there, Max?
I don't know that one. Big wheels keep on turning?
Come on, man. Private dancer? No?
Private dancer.
That's sad. Okay.
I'm thinking like
not sad
Tiny
about
Dancer.
you. Just sad about first of all, someone's going to probably make a meme of all this shit that I'm doing right now. Yeah, Proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling.
Rolling like a river?
Rolling down a river.
Or down a river? Yeah.
Is that right? And anyways,
I've heard that one. We got one at least.
That's a cover. Okay, so here we go. There goes Netflix blasting up to the top side again. So we covered Apple right there. Unfortunately, it hit our lucky number 27, which is a maple leaf do you know the most famous maple leaf that ever wore number 27? His name is Frank Mahovlich.
All
right. So there we go. Nice little move up there. For Apple. And then here we go. There goes Google. Brian Shannon just tweeted at us. Shout out to Brian Shannon there. I retweeted that. He's coming on in just a couple minutes. Shout out to Brian Shannon and company coming through us by himself, but he'll be coming through there. We have a VWAP right here in front of me. I've just finished that book. It's a great book. One of the only trading books I've ever read, to be honest with you. So I'm really excited to have him come through, and we'll talk all about that. I've read a couple books, but for me, it's sitting in the seat, learning everything. And here's some support and resistance plays right here. There's Netflix trying to go back up to the top side right there. We only have one red name today. We've traded Apple, Ford, Google, Netflix, and NVIDIA. And of course, it is NVIDIA. That is the red name of the day for us here. But let's try to find some more. Yeah, exactly. CCR is I know. Is the cover there. Snapchat, Nike. You know what? Nike's been on a little bit of a concern here because of all the China worries. They're bouncing off $100. We'll see if it can hold that $100 level. It hasn't been bouncing. That's the level that we're concerned with here, down to $100. So, you could see you've bounced off $100 a couple times. This would be something where, you'd anchor a VWAP at their earnings, and we'll talk about that with Brian coming up soon. But there we go, $100 right there, the bottom for Nike. I feel like it's smelling that level and wants to get down there. You're now broken below. We'll see about a downside move here on Nike, possibly covering that move into the downside on NKE. Ford, what I did do though, and I didn't tweet this out, but I bought more Disney today. I don't know, man. This name could be... It's in the penalty box, to take a word from Jim Cramer for sure, as this name continues to move down. It's been pretty aggressive there. Their earnings were really bad, and they fell back down in pretty badly there. Talked about cost cutting, which should be good, but their subscription numbers, pretty bad. And here's Disney, definitely on the way down. And I didn't buy it because of anything that's happening today. It's just when you're looking here at the daily chart for Disney, and let me just put it up a little bit so we can see a little bit more on that. Here it is right here. This bottom, now, so we can always get out of the way of a stock. We first bought this name at 98 right there. I don't know where the VWAP's gone on my daily chart right now. I'm going to put that in right here. So we go here, create, where is it? Volume weight average price bands. Now we'll just go that. We'll put it to price 0. We'll push apply. Sometimes I take it off because it's going to, you know what? I just got to get rid of that indicator title. There it is right there. Hide it. We don't need it on there. It'll take a minute to load up. But I'm looking at this right here. 86, 84, 85. You're never going to get the very bottom. But I just think that Disney with Ron DeSantis and all this stuff coming through, I really just feel like it's not something that is going to last forever. I know he's probably going to be is going to be running on the conservative side. But Disney down here, I like the theme park business. I don't like the streaming business. No one's making money streaming, but they have Hulu, they have ESPN, and I just feel like there's a couple more levers to pull there. The cruise line as well. Travel is hot, and Disney should be as well, but it's not. And when you get and move to the downside like this, these are like pandemic levels, man, down here at 80 bucks. I like Disney. I think it's worth a shot. We saw a huge move back to 120. If we get that, that's fantastic. Buying down here at 80, getting it out at 102 or 103 is something I'm looking to do right now. So it's kind of a little bit of a swing play here on Disney that I like for the downside, but we avoided trading it today, and maybe we should have looked at it because Disney, again, right there, look at this top, 89, 89.10, came a little bit, couple times right there, so let's wait to see if it hits again. Right now, that's Disney. I like it, but it's not at those levels yet, so that's a little movement action there for Disney. As Netflix is now 330 in the money, our Apple trade, good out for us on Apple as it's starting to move a little bit higher. We shorted Apple like from days up here. Nice downside move there coming into play on Apple.
We talked about XPEV not getting to shortable levels, and it just got to a shortable level of 850. Not a lot of volume going into the level, so I don't know that I can take it short necessarily, but yeah, retraces this whole move off of $8. So XPEV up into 850. Maybe if this breaks on some volume, there's a little bit of size there at the level, 300, 500 lots, whatever that is. If that breaks and then we get a little exhaustion move up, maybe you can short that back down. But yeah, XPEG definitely strong off that $8. Whoever that buyer is, they won today. And also this AMD is like really acting weird at this 107.50. There is some serious sell interest up here at 107.50, refusing to go past 107.51. I think it printed a couple times, but lots of prints at 49s, lots of people trying to get ahead of this level. So maybe if it breaks, we fly. I'm not really convinced of that, but we'll see what happens on AMD. I got my stop in higher than high of day. So I want to see this break, and I'd be willing to add to this if it breaks out of 50s and then comes back down. I think maybe that's the exhaustion move, and whoever's selling just lets up for a quick minute, and then we get slammed back into the downside. But starting to come down now. Needed to break that 107, which has been quite strong since whenever this was 120. But here comes some selling now, waiting for that to come in. Did you figure it out?
We're just reading some stuff there. I'm trying to figure out where to get out of this Netflix trade. We're $3 in the money. I was going to anchor some VWAPs here, but we're going to wait to see what Brian Shannon has. I see he's getting ready to come through, so we're really proud and happy to have such a great guest come through with us very, very shortly, Brian Shannon. But right here, 359 came through on Netflix. We definitely played off some of that support there, bounced off there. Now we're 350 in the money. I'm probably going to use, VWAP is really leveled out right now on this name, but I'm probably going to use now the 21 period. We have it right here. It's been coming in. We could use VWAP at 361.60. Maybe that's something a little bit better right now for this trade. But again, what if the market starts to take off? We've already got a strong name. I like Netflix in here for sure today, and it's been a good play for us. Apple was a good play for us. Ford today, this was actually, and I'm not just saying this because I know Brian's listening right now, but this was, I've been trading here for over 20 years using VWAP as well, which is why I'm very excited to have him come on. But we went short early on Ford. It's not early, it's early in the day, 10 o'clock, but we missed this dramatic move. Then we got out of a little bit. Then we let it sort of pump up here and was looking for some support levels, right? You could see a sloping down 50, sloping down 200. This is just a 1 minute chart. You're not going to find many traders out there like me, probably anyways, but you're not going to find many that are going to trade off a 1 minute chart and using some of these, but it's worked pretty good for us today on Ford as it comes all the way back down, and then we're getting it out 25. So although it's not a super sexy trade, still 15 cents, depending on your share size, well worth it. You can have one trade. This is a good one. So we go VWAP top to support bottoms. This, for me, awesome, was a pretty awesome trade. And I really like, and this is the thing, as traders, we're just risk managers, and I really like it when we can, properly guide an out, you know? And it's like anybody can buy a stock or sell a stock, but it's like, what is your maximum risk tolerance and why? Why is it there, right?
Yeah.
That's why we talk about back testing and making sure that whatever trades you put on, that you really do believe in them. Like for me today, look, I have a lot of fills. I mean, today's pretty light, man. I have 130 fills, which isn't bad. That isn't bad. We have 50 alone on Apple. But again, if you're going to look at an Apple trade, so we had Fed minutes today. You know, it's been a pretty aggressive day on some names, and we were definitely feeling the short. So here on Apple in the morning, this is the kind of risk management that we're talking about, right? If you come to the screen here, Brad, just real quick, and then we'll get ready to throw it over. But this is the kind of trade. We had it written here on our sticky note. Find it at TraderTV Sean with just trade ideas. We wanted to get short 172. Right, on Apple. So we waited for that. We had it yesterday. This is, again, our view up kind of messes up a little bit there, but there's 172 all the way to the upside. We get stopped out when it takes the day's high, but then we were like, okay, we have some support from yesterday, plus it's the day high. So look, if I zoom in here, just look at this trade. So we get stopped out, but then we're going against that high again. All right, so when we're taking this trade at 172.10, our stop is 25. That's 15 cents worth of a stop. We get it. Look at these takes. That's 172.10. This is 171.70. So you're already 2 to 3 to 1. Then it comes back up. We reload the trade, and then it just drips to the downside where we start to get out at, again, 171. So what we're doing here is taking like 15, 20 cents to make $1. So yeah, man, we're cooking. And we're cooking with gas right there because that's a charcoal barbecue. I actually like charcoal barbecues. That can happen to you sometimes when it flames up. So you got to be very, very careful. But then there's our out again. What's up, Sharif? There's our out again at 172.25 when it comes back out. So that's that, Apple. We'll wait for it. And yeah, really, really excited again today for our guest. We're getting ready for him. It's coming into Power Hour, 3 o'clock. Maybe the market will move, Max, but we didn't see much action here. We didn't have much action off that Fed note. So we'll wait to see if minutes actually affects anything coming up right now. But without any further ado, let's go over to Brendan at the big desk.
All right, super happy and excited, as we've been mentioning, guys, to have Brian Shannon on the show this afternoon. This is the new book. Your chance to get this right now for absolutely free. The code that you need to enter in the chat is right there, okay? Exclamation mark AVWAP. So exclamation mark AVWAP. Enter it one time only, please. Please. One time only, that'll enter you into the system. We're gonna make the draw at the end of this segment, okay? With that said, Brian Shannon is on the show for the first time. We're so happy to have him here to talk about not only the book, but also to talk us through how we should go about maybe integrating anchored VWAP into our trading. It's great to have you, Brian. Welcome.
Brendan, thanks for having me on. I've been a fan of your show, believe it or not, for quite a while. I too pop in here and there when I'm in the day trading mood. I'm more of a swing trader these days. I've been, I don't understand how Sean battles it out every single day the way he does for so long. But thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. Let's jump right into it because there's a ton to cover here, and I have to say, I got through the book on the weekend, Brian, and I guess the best way to sum it up is for anyone starting out or maybe someone who's, more experienced, there's so much in this book for any level of expertise. There's the basics, market structure, market fundamentals, volume, all the way through to the more advanced topics of how institutions are using VWAP, how institutions are executing using VWAP. So let's maybe start from a higher time frame here and a higher standpoint as the overall market is concerned, and we'll work our way down into more specific ideas. Give us your overview here. There's so much to talk about when it comes to what is affecting this market right now, but give us your overview here of the major indexes. The NASDAQ has been just so impressive all year long with tech leading, NVIDIA up 113%. It's insane. With all of this AI talk. Give us your overview of the major indexes and how you've been looking at them using anchored VWAP.
Yeah, great. So a lot there. The Nasdaq, as you mentioned, has been just a great leader this year so far. We're getting overcooked to the upside here, and I think that maybe this is the beginning of a little bit deeper pullback, but still a solid uptrend on that daily time frame. You can't look at that and change your mind because of a couple days of pullback. We're still above a rising 20, 50, 100, 150, 200-day moving average. They're all rising in there. So some deeper pullback in the Nasdaq wouldn't surprise me. The way I like to look at it is, anchor from these important lows like this one right here. Or can you see my screen, by the way? I can't see what you guys see. I'm not hearing anything. What happened?
You should be good.
Okay. So anyways, if we pull back down into this area, that's where we see the 20-day moving average and the anchor from this low right here. So, that would bring the Nasdaq down to 324. Another 2%. That doesn't seem unrealistic to me. The Nasdaq broke some important resistance, but then got punched back down in. So I'm looking at the S&P as still the laggard, definitely relative to the Nasdaq. And if it can't get back above this 415, 416 level, then I think we're going to need a little bit more time to digest things. But there's always opportunities out there, in particular for day traders and certainly for swing traders as well.
It's an impressive move overall as far as tech specifically, and we'll get back into that in a second here. But coming off what happened last year specifically with crude oil, the Ukraine-Russia situation kicked off that monster move higher. We give basically all of that back and then some as we head into 2023 here. As far as anyone who's maybe focused on the energy market, futures, if you want to have a look at it, or individual energy stocks, give us your overview here of where we're at as far as energy is concerned.
Sure. Let me take a look here. We can look at the crude oil chart, and there's a number of anchored volume-weighted average price levels I have on here. This green one is off the 2020 low. And you can see the market's been trying to find buyers in this general area for the last 3 or 4 months. So, that's 68 to 70 basically. Now we've just rallied up to the anchor from that prior low. So I'm looking at this as, this has been an important level. I think we're kind of stuck in a range here. And as far as crude oil goes, it's going to be maybe sticky in this area. I think this bigger range of 68 to even 84 is likely. I think we're going to just kind of stick basically between these two anchored VWAPs. So between 69 and 74 for the next couple weeks at least. And that's the way I always like to look at the market, is just little chunks at a time to see how it interacts with that bigger picture where we're seeing a big compression of energy. It is going to take some time to resolve that.
Individual stocks have typically followed what we've seen as far as energy is concerned. We've been discussing the Warren Buffett side of things as far as CVX is concerned, some of the positions that he has also in tech, obviously with Apple. But it's been just an absolutely crazy move across the board. We'll talk a little bit about some crazy moves specifically in regards to AI. Google getting in the race, the last one to kind of throw their hat in the race. We have Microsoft, we have NVIDIA, who seems to have won this race so far as this year is concerned. As I said, I think it was 113% year to date as of Monday. We've all seen a bit of a pullback this week so far. But individually, if you go into the NASDAQ, is there 1 or 2 or maybe 3 names that you've pulled out and said, I want to focus on these, and if so, why?
I tend to be more of somebody who sticks away from the popular names. I find my edge personally is in swing trading. The names, for instance, I just got stopped out of VRRM today. Here's a weekly and then daily chart. I also got stopped out of ARRY. Fortunately, I had, purchased it over here, sold a third on that breakout, and then sold the balance here on a stop today. But I'm also long Mindy from a couple days ago and really ratcheting up my stops. And here at Monday.com, I call it Mindy, MNDY. But we're right now at the anchored volume weighted average price from the IPO. And you can see that the last time we touched, it was just perfect. And now we're extended into this area again. So it tells me, this is where to tighten those stops dramatically. So I don't, go back to your question, Brendan. I don't really focus so much on those, bigger names as much. If I were to be trading, for instance, Apple, I think I would be in Sean's camp and, be day trading it and, looking at it as, here's a strategy from the book. It rallies up to the prior day's VWAP, breaks below the VWAP for today, short here with a stop under there, and then manage your risk on the way down. That's my speed. It all depends on, as you guys know, the personality of the trader and what they're looking for.
Yeah, I want to get into a few ideas here as far as how we can, as I said, incorporate this into our trading. First off, for anyone who may be hearing this term for the first time, for anyone who may be hearing this idea for the first time, what is VWAP specifically, and then what is anchored VWAP, and how are those two related?
Okay, we can leave this Apple chart up as an example. So the volume weighted average price is the average price that the stock traded at for every single transaction. It's a cumulative average throughout the day. So as you get this big first volume bar first thing in the morning, it's going to be very sensitive. Later in the day, when we have more denominators, basically more trades, it's going to slow down a little bit. But what we see is it acts as support or resistance often throughout the day. And there's reasons institutionally for that. So VWAP is for one day. It was created in 1988 as an execution benchmark tool. If we set the anchor, if we want to measure from anything other than the beginning of the day, for instance, such as yesterday, cumulative since yesterday, that's anchored to yesterday's open. If we wanted to anchor from this morning's midday low, you can see here that on this 1 minute chart, we wouldn't know that that's the low, but maybe once it starts to rally a little bit over here, we say that was an important low. Let's set a VWAP there and start measuring it. And you can see how that becomes support several times in here. So it rallies from the volume weighted average price anchored to that low right into the VWAP for the day, reloads, gets some momentum. So, even the super short-term traders can look at it like this and say, well, from that anchor, from that high right here, or from this high right here, where do the buyers regain control? Where do we know with conviction? Or vice versa, now that we know this was an important low, maybe we want to short right here with our stop above that level because it's below the volume weighted average price for the day. It's below this volume weighted average price, and perhaps it's also breaking below this one. So right now it looks like a good time for a short-term, very short-term scalper into the close maybe to short this stock, short Apple.
If you're looking on an intraday time frame like that, I guess the key here is there's no right or wrong answer. As you said before, it's more about what is the personality of the individual trader, what is the style of the individual trader, and this is a tool to assist in that.
Yeah, so, what it's telling us here, I should slow down and say that. So, for instance, from this low right here, we saw a nice little rally developed. It went from 171 up to 170, 150. And from that low point, the buyers gained confidence as this happened. And then we saw, now that it's below that anchor, that volume weighted average price, at this point right here, what it says, the average long into this rally is now losing money at this point right here. The average short seller from there is now gaining money. We might also want to look at the anchor from the high, and I'll bet you that, and again, we can see if I, color this red, you can see that anchor from the peak, found supply. It found, as long as that VWAP was still declining in here, it said the sellers are in control. And that's where this peak of this rally was found. And we're looking at a 1 minute chart because it's great to, make a real-time example. And I know a lot of your audience, will trade on this time frame, but the principles are applicable to every single time frame. And that's the beauty of it.
Lead into, I want to talk a little bit from a higher time frame. A lot of people, obviously, with investments, a lot of people looking at swing trades, as you were mentioning before. The principles, as you said, going to be very similar. But if you're looking on, say, a 2, 3, 5 day kind of time frame, maybe even out to a couple of weeks, where are the key pivots? Where are the key areas that you want to look for when it comes to anchoring VWAP?
Yeah, so we can look at this Monday.com again. And, I'm always aware of the anchored volume weighted average price from the IPO. And again, it often acts as resistance or from an important high. We saw that in DraftKings just recently, where you look at this daily chart and you see, well, what's going on here with DraftKings? Well, if we look at the anchor from this peak right here, or from this peak, most important, the all-time high, that this rally came right up to it. So first we saw, from important highs, this high, we saw resistance, and then we saw a battleground. It got back above that, and then it came right up to the anchor from this point. We saw that same thing happen in another stock that's been a big winner recently, GLBE. When you look at Global EE or online, you can see the anchor from that all-time high. That's exactly where we ran into supply. So when I look at things like that, I look at Monday and say, hey, we're right at this level. This is a potential level of resistance. So then I want to drill down to a shorter term time frame and look at it and say, okay, maybe on my final third, I'm going to set my stop under here real tight. Maybe it continues to move higher, but if I can continue to hold this with a stop against 164.10-ish, then perhaps it can continue to rally. So it's not only about the bigger time frame, it's about how they interact together with multiple time frame analysis and trend alignment.
It's such great content. As I was mentioning at the beginning, for anyone of any stage in their trading career. Again, guys, I'm gonna bring in Sean here, and we're gonna go get a winner for this. Brian, thank you so much for providing us with these. And again, someone right now, guys, going to win this. Here comes Sean.
They're not going to win my copy because I'm reading that. I really love it, and thank you, Brian, for coming on one more time.
Yeah.
I had a quick question to ask you, Brian, and one of the things that we have a lot of new traders that are on board and watching us right now. Would there be a lesson, and you've talked about swing trading and day trading and some of the different styles, but you've been in the game quite a long time. I'm actually celebrating my 23rd year of sitting here on a prop floor, so it's been a lot of fun trading, and I absolutely love it. And we often on the show educate a lot of traders about some mistakes that maybe we've had in our early trading careers, or maybe even ones that we've done recently. Is there anything that you can really remember that maybe got you focused on VWAP, or maybe focused on technicals instead of maybe emotions or something like that? What was there one thing that said, oh man, this is what I want to follow and this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I think that the mistake, Sean, for me, early on was I started as a retail broker in Boston at Lehman Brothers, and there was always the aspect that there had to be a fundamental story to back up whatever you were pitching to clients. Fortunately for me, I worked for a guy who, initially as a cold caller, and then as a lead qualifier, then an account opener and all that garbage, who would look at charts, and he would look at them and back it up with a chart. Or a lot of times he would find a chart, a great looking chart, and kind of make up a story around it. Just or back it up with fundamentals he could point to. So that gave me great training, but my biggest mistakes were always in believing something about a company and making that my reason for being involved, and thinking, well, the market's dumb for doing this, or why can't, just losing my objectivity based on news.
Right.
And I think that's the most important thing that really brought me to technical analysis, to say this is supply and demand. The market doesn't care about my opinion. I've tried to battle prices over and over again in my career, and it never works. So I bring up the chart of AI simply because I experienced this big rally, and that news story that crushed it over here. I was aware of that story right in here, and I was thinking when it came out, well, that's already old news. So I tried buying the dip in here this day, and quickly thought I had it against a level that I thought was going to be support. Let's say it was this anchor price. So I bought a little bit, got out really quickly, got what I deserved. That is a loss. And then, my opinion of the stock was kind of tainted, because now there's this news story that's making it happen. I couldn't look at it objectively when it broke, beyond this little consolidation. I didn't participate in this. In fact, one of my subscribers at Alpha Trends, asked me about it this day. He said, "What do you think, Brian?" I said, not for me. It could get going. You got that bad story about it out there, and my mind still got jaded because of this, because I was aware of this news story. And the bottom line is, if I wasn't aware of these news stories, I wouldn't have had the opinions that got in my way in this trade. So I do my best to protect myself as best as possible against listening to news and other opinions. I know that's a long-winded answer, Sean.
No, long-winded. I mean, you're with me here. I mean, I talk forever and been known to be quite long-winded, as you'll probably see right now. But no, the reason why I brought that up, Brian, is actually a great answer. It's almost like we talked before this, which we did not, was because today I had a very similar example with Netflix. I write a sticky note, which is every single day, some trade ideas with some. You're aware?
I'm aware. I see your sticky notes.
Okay. I like that. But what I was interested in was going against sometimes the trend of the market. And I think I have an example here. If you can come on here, Pratt, onto my screen with Netflix this afternoon, was I've been pretty bearish on this market for a little while now for various reasons. But Netflix was up today. Obviously, they have their own story. And then here it is. It's not a VWAP trade, so I apologize for this. But it did come all the way back into an area where I thought, and it even goes back to yesterday as well, some support into here. Well, yesterday was resistance, but we'll turn resistance into support when stuff like this happens. There it comes back in again. And despite me being short Apple, short Google right now, we're short Ford, short Nvidia today, I stood in the front of this move all the way to come down because I believed in support and resistance and in some levels, and we just cashed out at $3 right there on that trade. So sometimes, you got to stick your head out there and believe in what you see, and that's a perfect example. Your story about AI, I believe I heard you say something about that on another podcast with Mr. Downtown Josh Brown, and I feel like being biased into a name can hurt you, so you should always trust the numbers and trust what you see and don't try to overthink the market. And that's something for me, and I think that's something that you just mentioned as well as being very, very important lesson to learn. And the earlier you can learn that the market doesn't care about your position, the more profitable you'll be as a trader. So I think that's a very important point. And you make that very clear 100%. In your book. So, and I do want to say to everybody out there, just because you're on, it's not about peddling your book, but I was really, really interested in reading it, and to be completely honest, the examples in there, it's very straightforward. It's for beginning traders as well as traders like myself, because it's great to hear another side and a story about why technical analysis and certain indicators, especially just one of them, the VWAP with the anchor, is an absolutely great tool. So I want to thank you for that. The one quote that I'm never going to forget that you said in your book, I'm going to throw it back to Brendan right after this, was that you said a stock is guilty until proven innocent, and then innocent until proven guilty. And that means if you're under the VWAP, you're guilty until you bust through it. Then we can start to trade that to the long side and the other way around. So that, to me, really hit me down there. And my trading has definitely been improved by using such simple technical analysis like that. So thank you for making it simple for the common man like myself.
Fantastic, Sean. You're no common man. I think you're selling yourself a little bit short there.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, again, guys, highly recommend. Great read. Again, traders of any level, any skill level, any experience level will find value in this book. And Mr. Shannon, we have a winner. So congratulations to New York Giant 012. Please send to marketing@tradertv.live a screen cap of you logged into your YouTube account with your mailing address, and we'll get that out to you as soon as possible. So there you go. New York Giant 012 from our chat, picking up the Anchored VWAP book. Brian Shannon, we appreciate your time. Come back whenever you please, my friend.
I'd love to. Thanks for having me on, Brendan.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Wow. Make sure he knows my name. That's unbelievable. I'm like starstruck right now. Thanks, Brian Shannon, for coming through on that one. I am no common man. I'm going to tell that to my wife tonight. So thank you, Brian, for coming through there. It's too bad that someone with Giants won, but big shout out to the Packers 0012 or whatever would have been great. But congratulations, and thank you everybody for supporting the stream and supporting that great guest. And what what a great opportunity, you know, to pick up what I honestly, I mean, I mean that. We're not sharing in anything here. We're not affiliated. I really do believe that if you pick up this book or, you know, at least look into the anchored VWAP and stuff like that, I think you'd be pretty impressed. So shout out to Brian Shannon. Thank you for coming through on that one. What did you think?
Awesome. I love the idea of like anchoring VWAP to a low there and then using that as like the trend on the way back up. I think I will try to add that and anchoring to earnings. I think would be like to an earnings release. Seems like
recent high, recent lows.
Exactly.
The only thing that I saw some people in the chat talk about this, and I actually agree a little bit with it, is you have to try to be specific where you anchor these things because, you know, if you go to the low, it's going to give you a different read. If you go to the high, it's going to give you something else. If you go to the day, I mean, he was giving a couple different examples there. So that's the one thing that you can overcomplicate a little bit. And I say this to some of the beginning traders and when I was training traders and things like that, it's like you don't need to overcomplicate what you're looking at, which is actually why I like the VWAP. It kind of puts a lot of the moving averages together. Yeah. It's not a moving average, but it's the volume weighted. So, but it makes it simple, gives you a reason, can show you some supply and resistance zones. But I don't use that solely, and I don't think anybody should either. I think you should always make sure you back test, look at different things, and then figure out where exactly you want to, hey, what's up, Branko's in the back there? Figure out where exactly you want to anchor those, and such a great day and a great guest, and you know, really happy to have him on. Okay, today, brand new 52-week lows. Qualcomm. Interesting. That's a very interesting name there because we had some stuff with China and 3M and things like that. We'll watch out for Qualcomm, who also warned that would be where you'd anchor that VWAP. Their report was bad, and that gave everyone pause for concern on Apple shipments for mobile phones and cell phone parts. That's something else. Paramount today, Para. Obviously, we talked about IEP, and a shout out to Branko's. It's tax reasons why we can't trade those here, how they settle and things like that. And then L3 Harris. Interesting name on a 52-week low. We don't look at that. And then 3M. We've talked about that name a couple times as well. Okay, congratulations. Look what just happened to NVIDIA right there. Okay, we got out, you know, and then we were focused. We were watching the interview, so we don't have any trades on besides getting out of that Netflix. But right there, down into 299, 300 again, bouncing off and then ripping to the upside. So there goes NVIDIA. I saw some people in the chat. We'll go a couple bangs for you and a couple sirens because get ready at 4 o'clock, I think it's 4:20. We had this joke yesterday when they were going to report. So let's wait to see what happens with NVIDIA, man. All-time highs of 340 in sight for sure, because if it's a 6% move, like it's implied with the options right now, then that's going to add $18 to this, brings it to that almost like, what a surprise, right to that recent high of 320. Yeah. And then if they like it enough, it's going to go from that 320, and that could be a bottom tomorrow or a top. We're going to wait to see what happens right there. But yeah, NVIDIA, huge move to the upside and a nice win. I see some people celebrating there in the chat. So congratulations on that one if you have it back in. That is NVIDIA with a nice move back up to the upside right there.
Yeah, speaking of NVIDIA, that move up got me out of AMD. So whatever that fugazi was that was happening at 107.51 eventually broke, came back down. I kind of doubled my size here and then I end up getting stopped out high of day. So is what it is on AMD. AMD is not going to stay down if NVIDIA is making a move like it just did. And how many times do you see like these moves into earnings? Either a stock rallies into earnings or a stock goes down into earnings, and then last hour of the day, you get some mean reversion back the other direction. NVIDIA down from that 320 high. We get down to $300, and now we're doing a little bit of rallying into those, into that earnings. People covering those short positions, or buying it up into earnings for whatever reason, gambling on the potential there. But yeah, so I'm in no positions at the moment. Waiting that Meta ended up making the move above 248. Initially, it wicked it to 05s, and then once we got above there, I don't believe it did not pull back. So 248.05 was the breakout price up into the 60s here. So I mean, either way, you get a trade. I don't know that taking 40 cents on Meta is the way to go because the risk is probably higher than that on any Meta trade, but. yeah, I mean, it gives you the pullback off that 248 fail break initially, then it gives you the breakout. So can go both ways there on Meta. I guess if we went back to AMD, you could go both ways on this one. Shorting this here, cover it down into 107, and then you take the breakout. Maybe that's what I should have been doing. But I had bigger ideas there, and now we're almost at 108 on AMD. So glad I stopped out of that. Market actually breaking out. Do we have news here? White House spokeswoman, something.
I see it. They're going to speak when the time is right. Okay. Well, is this the Price is Right? You like the Price is Right, I'm assuming, Matt.
Of course.
Okay, good. I'm not too old.
I am old enough to have seen it with
Bob Barker.
Bog Barker, exactly.
Good one, Max.
Yes. So, you know, not that
If you don't like Bob Barker, then I honestly...
Come on.
Me and you are finished. No, just playing around. But yeah, Bob Barker, classic dude for sure. Thanks to Nick talking about this forward position. We only had 10%. We just got a reload, by the way, in Google. We're going to have to look at that position coming up in a minute because the market is taking off and we do not want to be short into a market that's starting to go. That's for sure. There's debt ceiling talk right now. Apple's really starting to go up, back up to 172. We'll short forward against 141. That's it. We only had 10% left. We'll take it again right here. Past VWAP, that's okay. It's just back into that support, so we'll see a 141 break on that. We've reloaded it right now, and here comes Google. Coming right up to the upside right now. And again, this is not a position that I'm super excited about, but we do have a stop trigger here at 121.26. So it's really getting going now. I don't know if someone's getting excited about a possible deal there, if we're getting worked up about NVIDIA earnings coming after market or not, but there it goes. Google is ripping faces off right now. I do have another short, not really, but I do have another short coming at 98, which for some reason we just bounced off of right there. So did that really stop at, I didn't even know we were there. No, it stopped at 95. So we'll take another fill, and then we'll wait for that break higher on Google. Getting light on this, man. Actually, I'm going to limit. Actually, we don't have too many shares at 98, so that's okay. The other play that I was just talking about, this is why you can't hold on to things forever. There's our out on Apple right here off of these shorts. Look what we're doing. We're coming right back into it. I'll pitch my wagon or hitch my wagon on Google short rather than Apple short right now, but they're both right back into a shorting opportunity. But the thing is, man, this market, here's the NASDAQ, here's VWAP, it's all the way down here, and we are way above. Now we're starting to reach into that 200 period of 13,700. So if we can break 13,700, all bets are off as the market is really extending itself right now. So let's be careful with any of these shorts starting to get blown out. Hey, I was so happy to be on with Brian Shannon. We got out of Netflix just because I was like, nah, maybe the move is the other way. Jeez, Max. You remember I told you we had a $17 winner on NVIDIA before? I think we had almost a $20 or $30 winner on Netflix. And when this name goes, it goes. It's right back to days high again. So there's 359. Right now it's 365. That should be $6. We got out of 362.50 for 3 and change, but there it is. It's a nice move back up to the upside there for Netflix. So that hurts. That hurts, Netflix. I'm a subscriber. You know what I mean? I know they don't care, but you know, I pay $24.99 or whatever it is a month for this service.
Crazy that it's so expensive.
It's crazy how expensive it is, but my kids all get their logins. They can take their iPads wherever they go. They can log into it, and it's all good. But Netflix, they got my money from a long time ago. I think it might be $21.95, but then, you know, we had the 13% sales tax.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know.
Yeah, I pay for my whole family. And it's, I think I need to pull the rug on that one. That's
true. I'm gonna throw my mom, both my parents under the bus because they were sharing mine, and now she's so scared. I said, just log in. Like, I don't understand why. Like, what's the problem? And she's like, well, I don't want to deactivate your account and everything. I said, let's just see what happens. She has yet to do it, and I think she will eventually subscribe. But yeah. So, anyways, they don't live near me, so it doesn't really. Well, they do, half hour away. Okay, so Netflix, nice move to the upside. Now Ford, on the other hand, did dip down. We did get a 39 fill, so let's see if this one wants to retrace. Starting to make a little bit of money now. I am nervous about Google. We talked about where our out is, 121.14. So by that time, our average price will hopefully be around 120. Well, actually, sorry, my stop is up here, 25s. But that's a good level. We're going to average it back in if it comes up to there. But for right now, we just missed a 98. But there's the average at VWAP. Let's see if Google wants to retrace back down. And here we go. It's not a lot of money, but it's dripping. It's dripping down. Let's see if Ford does want to come back in just a little bit. Back down to 35. That's a decent move back in. And we did put on shares. So let's see if we can top our day off here, get a couple outs around 35 and see what happens. Nice pullback. Thanks to Nick there in the chat as we averaged it in. Now it's coming back down to VWAP. We just need a 35 print. All D prints. We're not on anything. We're on lit market. So hopefully we get lit up and get filled there at 35 as Google's starting to go back up.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like wondering if we're going to get a pullback here on this move. Like, what is this NASDAQ move that we're having? So I tried to find something that was at a key level. Tesla at this 183.50, 183.60 kind of level. Got short there, but looks like the market wants to make a new high again. I don't know. Just a starter position here because I was looking to add on a 184 fail on Tesla. I don't know that I want to do that now that we've had this like 50-cent pullback here. Feeling like, I don't know, this move is overblown. Do we have news on this market? I'm not seeing anything come in. It's just like a short covering, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not going to let this position really go too far against me here. When you are trying to call the top, don't get stubborn with it. If it's going, it's going, and Tesla's not the train that you want to stand in front of. Amazon also new high of day there, and Meta. So all of these names starting to get heated. Maybe AMD at that 108.50 is the level if we can get there. I know that we have stopped there in the past, so maybe fail break of 108.50, getting there pretty fast though. So maybe just get out of the way and wait for this market to do what it's going to do here. I'm not. I just don't know what's happening. So
I wouldn't.
Why am I doing anything here? I guess.
Right. Right. Valid point.
Yeah.
I am in the exact same camp, and I actually feel it's kind of we got carried away here with this Google short. It's fine. We're not going to give back, the day. What am I even talking about? We're not going to do anything too crazy here, but Google is starting to go, and I don't think it's a wise decision to try to fight this max. If you're not in it, if you get a maximum, that's good. If you get a price that, like that 108.50, that's just too good not to take, then I feel like that's fine. We started this at VWAP without really. And again, this happens, man. Like, we just had Brian Shannon on, great guest. But like, this really got going a while ago. The NASDAQ really broke through this level, started to go up to the upside. And really, this is just a 1-minute chart. In the last about a half hour, we have like 3 candles that are red. And you can't even see them. They're so small. One little pullback there. I feel like this is going to be strong into NVIDIA earnings, into the end of the day. So again, we're not even close to be singing anything. Like, do you know how much we're down on Google right now? 9 cents. And I'm sitting here talking like I'm upset, but that's part of it. Okay, here we go. Back down into the 90s. I'm going to take out 10% if we get this 90 fill. That's me sitting there. So let's go. Bring the pain to the downside right now. And what I was saying is, if this works, it works. It's great. But I'm going to try to get some out here on the downside. I'm not super happy with being into this trade. So let's just try to not throw the baby out with the bathwater here, but we know we want to be red on Google. We know we want to be short on it. It just pulled back. We just got out for some flats right there. So let's see if Google wants to work now back into the downside. We literally got out at 25%. That's it. Pulled back into flat. Let's see if it wants to work. It's trying to work off this level right there. We said we'd rather be short Google rather than Apple because Google's actually red. And I don't know what Apple did. Apple probably just pulled back way better. But no, it didn't. See, Apple didn't pull back at all. So there you go. So if you're stuck at VWAP rate, look where Apple's just starting to maybe come back in with the market flush. But I think we picked the right name. Apple's strong today. That's what I should ask Brian about was, now that we're good friends, me and Brian, we're going to go by first name basis. So that was something that I feel like relative strength and weakness definitely something that I've added to my toolbox in this last little while. I don't want to be short or long names that are sort of against the market, or at least not too many of those shares until we get to a key level like that AMD call that you have on board right now. So, okay, for downside, let's see if we fill. VWAP is right here. I do have a bid at 35. Let's see if we can get a fill there on 35 if it comes down. There it is. We just got something on 35. So that was a good little fill there, part filled. Let's see if it flips down even lower using like one of these Edge A keys. That's a J print. So you will get better fills using, there it is. Now we get, there's the J's again. You'll get better fills using different gateways. So that's something also that we're privy to here at Day Trade the World. So let's go forward. Nice little take there. Thanks to Nick for bringing that up as we broke above VWAP, and we're just shorting it against this. We're not going to like ring any registers, but we made money. We're going to hope to get it somewhere down here in the mid, early 30s, but middle of this range, 32, 33. Then we'll see about a drop down into the 20s again. But for right now, it's Google, man. Good out getting out of some of those down there, 25%, as it looks like it still wants to take out the top. This has allowed me to reload the position right here. So if we get anything at 121.16, I'm going to reload it. I actually liked how it fell there on a little bit of a move in the NASDAQ. So what if we get a big move? I think we could be good to go here.
Yeah, I actually found a name that I liked better for the short, and that's the big boy, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA gets to that 305 key level. I take it back through. So stop high of day on NVIDIA. Don't want this to go crazy against me, but this is probably the name that you want to short. This is the one that started the move. We got a huge like $3, $4 move up. Would like to see this come down now, and do we stay over that high? Need to close over that high of 305.50, and I will be out. But yeah, I feel like if something's going to turn around, this is the guy. But maybe we just squeeze into earnings on NVIDIA. Looks like we're going to, so I'm bailing on that one. Bad trade there, I guess. Well, good trade didn't work, I think, is the way to talk about that one. Yeah, I mean, everything else just flying.
Maybe there's, I mean, I'm not seeing anything, man. All I'm seeing is that McCarthy, so White House says that Biden and House Speaker from the other side, of course, McCarthy, will speak when time is right. That brought me to the Price is Right discussion that you and I just had. But yeah, if the time is more right now than ever. So let's just see what happens on that debt discussion talk and debt ceiling. And hopefully there is a discussion that's a profitable one for everybody. So we'll see if it does come in. So there's the reload on Google we talked about. It's going to go, man. It's going to go. We're just going to give this to 25, which is right here. So it's getting close to breaking that level. That sucks. We did not expect to move up like this. And like I was saying before, you know, touche. The market, sometimes you're going to lose on some names and you're going to give some money back when it doesn't follow some of your strategy. So there it goes, Google. I'm still, look at Netflix again just so I can make myself feel worse. Wow, 366, 367. That's an $8 winner. That would look pretty special to have that on. But there it is. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet. Where's my face? Oh, there it is. Slap a fail as well on that, because that was not, and we sort of sniffed that one out. We did think that that was maybe a bad trade. So shout out to everybody that at least did not have that. But there goes Google down into the dumps. Not happy about it. I don't like it when we talk about it. It doesn't work out. But at the same time, and you even saw Brian there talk about trade that didn't work out for him, what it was. But, that AI trade was not great for him either. So, but that's going to happen. We are going to take a little bit of an LFT here into the close. Let's see what Google does now off some of those blowout tops. Now we got to look for something that is actually like near a top and try to fade that. But Google, Apple right now ripping. There goes Google. Apple was the rip through 172. There's the take, man. We didn't give anything back on this one. And again, when you're going against the market and sort of counter trend, that's not the greatest spot to be into like 5 names. So, we only lost on Google. Pretty happy about that. Look, we didn't lose on... We made more on Netflix just by taking $3 than we did just losing on Google there on 40 cents or whatever it was. But still, that's a great take for Netflix all the way up. And that high break, you know what? Are you on Tesla? I'm just wondering what that's doing because we missed. Oh, that was what? Where were we? We were at 181.50. It goes down to 181.60. So there you go again. Sometimes you're going to miss those trades. A good one missed on Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, we grind down all day on the NASDAQ, go from 13.7 down to 13.570, and then we make the move up from 13.6 back all the way up to 13.7 in like 20 minutes. So big short squeeze here, I guess, on the market. I don't know what to look at to get short. I feel like this move does get faded a little bit, but you know, we tried early. Maybe that AMD back through that 108.50 level could be something to take.
I have a trade
Nvidia's
idea, but it's moving fast. I have Amazon. Shout out to who in the chat was that? What's up, D2R2KRS3? Yeah, why is no one talking about Amazon? Amazon up 1.8%. And so what I'm going to talk about right now is Amazon. I'm going to short this name. What? Okay, no, we're trying to short it up here. That must be a keystroke. We're waiting to get shorter. Where's my offer on Amazon? 18s. Okay, so we should be getting filled soon. So I don't know what that was about. But right there, we'll take a fill there. That high is 34s. And now again, so we're going to go short against that high. But the other thing about this Amazon trade, if you're going to look at it, right back into here, 117.20, 117.50. That wick is 117.50. These highs are 119. So yeah, we could be in trouble here on this short, but we're going to take it anyways against 117.50 right there. We'll take it on that wick top, and then we'll see what Amazon wants to do. The market's going to have to pull back. Amazon's strong. This is kind of like Apple. Has a great opportunity to continue to move forward. It's 334. Brendan just said it's 500 million to sell a couple minutes ago at 330 on the imbalance. But that's not what's giving me the feels for this. It's just that sort of top take there that we've already made that top. Not great volume, but a little bit of volume. Let's see if it pushes lower. One more take on this against 117.50. So this is the trade that we have on. Starting to work, but not really. Let's wait to see if Amazon can get back to O's at least, and then we'll work it off of that. But right now, short 15s. Let's see if we can get some of that Google money back right now.
Yeah, I just found the top, I think, on NVIDIA. I was looking at the 5-second chart there.
5-second chart?
To find an entry on NVIDIA. Yeah, and I think I found something.
Who is this animal?
We'll see if we can get back through that 305. Look for these 304.50s. See if it can pull back to the teal here. I feel that this move is going to be faded. We just wicked 13.7, and now we're coming back down. So possibly a good position here. Got in a little early on this move on Tesla and NVIDIA, but now we are chilling about 85 cents in the money already. Wow.
Boom!
Wow! How do we do that? I finally get the winner on the fade.
Are you serious about a 5-second chart?
Yeah, right here.
I know they exist, but wow, you're taking trades off of a 5-second chart.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy, man. I don't even have, I don't even know. I'm going to hit face slap for myself because, wow, 5 seconds.
I mean, in moves like this, they happen fast. You got to find those tops. So
I'm trying to learn off you, Max. That's a great call, dude.
Find that, yeah.
Great call. Okay, so with that great call comes hopefully one that we can do equally as impressive, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. So let's just wait to see what happens right here. This is, of course, Amazon, and we're going to have a quick look at it and just to see, if this fades out again off that top. We just bounced off 117.05. That short was 18, so we could have taken 13 pennies on that, but for some reason we have this 10. I must have been flipping names and I just accidentally, it's not big shares. You can see our average price is 15s right now, so I'm pretty happy with the positioning here and the sizing and everything, so it's all good. But we will look at 117 flat. That's where I'm bidding. Actually, I'm bidding 02s to take out of a little piece, and then hopefully that comes through and we're able to make a little bit of money on this short. But if not, it's one reload there. And then the out has been pretty clear for us. I don't know, can we see it on a 1 minute chart? No, we can't. It goes back a couple days there. We can go to the 20 minute, I guess, on Amazon. Yeah, right there, 117.50. So it's that take that I'm interested in. So we'll see if that comes through or not. But again, we'll average it in up to that top spot. We did a good job of explaining that. So that's what we're doing. And then Ford not really doing a whole heck of a lot, as many of you can see. So we're going to have to wait on it. But for right now, kind of just sleeping right now on the market. It made a nice move up, bounced off 13.7 again. It took out day's high there on, I guess, debt negotiation talk. We'll wait on that. But yeah, I'm going to go short this market and see if we can get some fills. So we're short Amazon right now, 117. Probably better names to short. What was relatively weak today that we really liked? It was Google, but we already got stopped out of that. So that's still here.
Apple.
No, Apple's strong. PayPal, yeah, I mean, NVIDIA, you were short. Oh, let's check out car maker, XPeng. Okay, let's check out XPeng. XPeng right now as we go. Again, huge rally up for, whoa, XPeng almost.
Yeah, all the way back.
By the way.
Awesome.
Temporarily. Right now as Amazon does flip down, we take that 15 cents, but only on a small piece. We'll put another piece there as it just bounced off 117 flat again there on Amazon. So we'll stay there. We'll see if we can get a piece out on that. There he goes. We got another piece out. You can't see it, but we have two pieces. We have to put something. Like we said, no matter what our opinion is, we have to trust some of the lines that we've put on here. This is a 50 period. Could easily bounced off. Look at this. Bounced off the 50, bounced off the 50. So we're going to put a piece there, get it. Hopefully it bounces off, which means we get a piece first. There it is, retracing back up. We got another out there. We're actually out of 25% now of this Amazon trade. As it's short at 18s, we got out at 02s there. So let's see if it wants to continue the movement here for Amazon. And then Ford, unfortunately, not doing anything. XPeng 9, that's what I wanted to look at. We just talked about that. That just came up to $9. Pretty much stopped there at 8.90. But wow, what a good take. Look at that. That would have been probably a good name to fade. Because even though it's only in the money now, 15 cents, you would have put on more shares because it's only an $8 name. So, you know, definitely short there, give it to 9, take some profit as it pulls back in. Good trade there on XPEV if anyone had it.
Yeah, great trade on XPEV. I mean, everything pulling back now. Tesla, the only one that really isn't giving back the whole move. So maybe Tesla runs into the close.
That was a strong name, right?
Yeah, this. I mean, we're down 1% on the day on Tesla, but since that bottom, we're up like $6 now, and barely any pullback on Tesla on that move. Luckily, I got out of that because holding up quite well. I did get fully out of NVIDIA. Maybe should have been holding a piece, but I don't know. This was a scalp trade to try and kind of pick the top there and get $1.50, and that's exactly what we did. But it went another $1 after that. So NVIDIA, great for those exhaustion moves. I've had those before where it just like gives it all up and gives it up fast. AMD did do a little pullback, but nothing. I mean, that would have been a great breakdown. All of these names gave you that short trade off the exhaustion top. All you do is put a stop below 108.50. It fills you. You get 30 cents, and you walk away happy. You can take way more size on it AMD than you can on NVIDIA. But I mean, the percentage move probably better on NVIDIA there. Meta as well did a wick top. I was thinking do a fail break on Meta at 250, but it only got to 249.60. So everything calming down after that crazy short squeeze action. Still looking Fed Waller. My current view on the Fed rates unaffected by debt. I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't really mean anything to us, I don't think. So yeah, nothing really that has been confirmed to have caused that squeeze other than just some short squeeze action, I guess. And everything kind of giving it back now. But what a crazy move. 20 minutes before the close there.
Great call on NVIDIA, man. Where did you wind up getting out of that?
304.20.
So for how much?
$1.30. Yeah. Where did I short?
You know what we call those kind of winners on the show, Max? Bangers, correct. But it's more like have a chicken dinner winner.
Oh, yeah.
Go to that Swiss Chalet action, or some St. Hubert's. We talked about
Swiss
that.
Chalet.
A little bit of KFC, a little bit of Yum
Quarter
Brands.
chicken dinner.
Grab that quarter chicken, man. Grab some
Yum Brands? What's that?
What's Yum Brands?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. KFC.
Really?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
What else is Yum Brands, guys? Nope. Tim Hortons is Quality Services QSR.
The Brazilian company, right?
For Tim Hortons there. So. But okay, good call there, Max. We'll do some. There's also Yum C, which operates the Chinese chicken wing.
That's what I was thinking of. Yum C. which
Sure,
I
Max, sure.
think I've traded
okay.
that one before.
But yeah, great call there. That's a chicken dinner winner, regardless of knowing Yum or not. Great trade there, Max. And then also Amazon pulling back as well. We'll tap ourselves on the shoulder for that, as it just pulled right back into the 50 period. Again, you know, we'll lose on Google, but we found Amazon. I want to give a big shout out to the chat because that was on you. And so if it lost, I would have been, you know, really mad at it. No. Good call out there. And yeah, that's the one thing, man. You just want to get your money in when you think there's an opportunity. And that's honestly the only answer to pretty much every question that anyone's going to ask about trading. It's you want to get your money in when you think the time is right. And that's going to take development of technical analysis, the feel. I think that there's nothing, and this is why I've literally read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. That was one of the very first books I've ever read. And then I read One Good Trade by Mike Belfiore, SMB Capital. We talked about that. And then I've read this book as well. Other than that, and it's not for lack of, I mean, first of all, I'm not like a huge, everyone in my family are like crazy readers. Like Baxter is like an encyclopedia. My 11-year-old has already read like many book series. He's into something. What's the Japanese cartoon, the anime, but you read it backwards? Or something? Manga. He's into that, and he's read like 11 books in a row.
You read it backwards?
Yeah, it's amazing. You read it from back to front. No, it's actually pretty cool, man. And obviously the art is really cool. You've never heard of it? I never heard of it.
I've heard of manga. I didn't know that you read it from back to front.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Right to left. So anyways, great.
No.
Anyway, that's what it is. But okay, here comes Amazon.
Brad thinks that you read Japanese from right to left, but I am pretty confident that that's not the case. No.
So as you can see, this is not really a literacy show because we don't even know what the hell's going on. I just know you
now
read
you can
English.
guess what the qualifications are to end up on this trading floor.
We've already know that they're very, very lax. We've already told many stories about hiring various individuals and how lax it was. But okay, so anyways, meanwhile, everybody make sure the likes are a little bit down right now. I mean, was that not a great show? Are we not entertaining? Are you not entertained? Well, if you're not, maybe you are now.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Yeah, so hola on all of that. Make sure you do like and subscribe this stream. We've had a big show, and it's only going to get bigger. Every day, man, we're hustling and trying to get better for everybody around here. So I want to definitely appreciate and thank all the viewers for coming through once again. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. You'll be indicated on all the streams. So that's good. We have a pre-market stream that goes out as well, giving you a little bit of a rundown on the day. And then we're live at 8:30, and that's when the fun starts. We'll review a couple early trades. Brian Shannon knows about the Sticky Note. He's a member of Sticky Note Nation. So let's go, and we're going to be reviewing those every morning as well. But yeah, so far so good. It's been a really great day. And yeah, we're happy to be here and enjoying trading. And there goes Amazon back down to the downside. And by the way, thank you again to the chat because here it is right here. Money. Man, that's annoying. But there we go. It is the money dance, and there it is. Okay, Ford, just get a 33 fill. Let's see if we can get another one down here at 33. Bring this to the downside. That's another short that we just put on. So yeah, be biased is fine, I feel like, to some extent, but definitely make sure you're trading the right names. And I feel like we did that, and down goes Ford right now to the downside on what looks weak, man. I mean, this is Ford today. So do we break above VWAP? Yes, we do. And this is why it's not always the be-all, end-all. You have to look at different things. So we go back into supply and resistance zones again, and that was right there at 40 for Ford. So nice move to the downside. Pretty happy with that trade.
Yeah, kind of regretting not hanging on to a piece of that NVIDIA. Would have got an extra $1 there, but is what it is. The scalp is the scalp. Looking at some other names, Meta is pretty weak off of that 250 level. So yeah, every time it gets up here, you get these lower highs on maybe it'll, so make that high at 253, whatever that was. Yesterday it's 252. Today you can't even break 250. So Meta pretty weak when it gets up above that like 245, 247 kind of level. So we'll see where it opens up tomorrow. If we do get like a higher low tomorrow, maybe we finally blast through that 250. Lots of room to the upside. Gap fill to 290 on Meta. Can't wait for that rally take some of those big breakout trades off the open on this name. Is the market retraced? No, not really. So kind of
coming back up, actually.
Yeah, a little bit of a move back up, but pretty muted here. ES still at VWAP at the moment. Does that big move and gives it all back. NASDAQ obviously held most of the move here versus ES, which continues to be weaker than the NASDAQ.
Trying to remind people also that we have the imbalances coming out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So Brendan brought it's almost $1 billion now to sell, but it doesn't really look like there's too much sell side action happening right now as Amazon's retraced back up, but we already have our stop zone ready for Amazon. So I don't feel like we're too worried about what may or may not happen here with Amazon. We got some more forward out. We talked about 33, we got some 34s, some 35s as we continue to watch out for Amazon right now. So that's going to be a play for us, obviously, coming through here into the end of the day. So let's be careful. Shorting anything. There's Ford still. Here's Amazon, just came all the way back, but we got an 80 fill. We only have 20% left. So good moves. We got most of them out here at 90s against that 50 period. Really lucky to get that fill as well. But hey, short 18s, out 80s. We'll take that with just a couple minutes left. So far so good here on the show. We've already talked about it. You guys are hitting the like button, so thank you so much for that. And let's just keep this party moving on here as it's been a good day. We'll wait for these imbalances, and there they are. Whoops. There they are. Right now, we'll get rid of NYSE ARCA. See ya. And now we'll wait to see Palantir from the morning. Obviously, it's not halted. That was a big sell imbalance, and you saw Palantir today. So, all right, here we go. Ford trying to pull back a little bit. Amazon still pulling back. So all is well right now. Let's just see where we go on this release, which is coming out in 30 seconds max.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on the imbalances. I'm looking at nothing really, but NVIDIA is retracing this move all the way back up. So nice pullback there, goes right back through. We're back above 305 again. Somebody trying to sell 10,000 shares right now, right into the close. That's quite the bet, or maybe covering a nice bet. But yeah, there's 10K lots on the offer they can't break on NVIDIA, looking for the high again. So a bit of a short squeeze into earnings, it looks like. Oh yeah, imbalances are out. So
yep, they just dropped.
What do we got here? Disney, big sell, 70 million. You got Macy's a sell. So Macy's is going into earnings tonight, right?
Yes, sir.
So
no, June 1st. Sorry.
Oh, June 1st. So next Thursday, Macy's has earnings. We covered that. Where did this go?
We just got a nice, we just got a nice move down on Amazon. Obviously, thanks to Brendan for that one. It's 2.5 Bs right there. So yeah, put your billions up right now. Look at this move. Yeah, buddy, there it is. Let's go. This is a banger to throw down here to end the day. Look at Amazon. Go to the downside. Let's go right now. It's 50 cents in the money, and we still print lower, man. This is OB's stock. I'm sure he's short with me right now. Let's go. This is 50 cents in the money, and we're pulling it down, and there it goes, Amazon. Yes, we're really happy with that play, obviously. I don't know if you guys can tell. That's a good one. And then right here as well, Ford. Hello, shout out to Randy. What's up, Randy? We do have Ford in the spot right now, and this is, again, another good trade here to hopefully end the day, but we'll take some more if there's any more coming through. Right now, this has been a good morning. Sorry, good morning. I said that the other day. Good afternoon, good morning, good whatever day it is for you. There's some more Ford fills. Let's go, man. I don't care. We're spinning it one more time. It's part of the contract, you know, Max. You know, once you sign the contract, there's certain emojis you have to hit. So that was one of them right there. It's the money dance. Good job on your NVIDIA, man. But look at these shorts printing at the end of the day. It's Ford. Now we're almost out of Amazon. We took another fill right there. We only have 10% left. Yes, sir. We will now finish our day despite getting hit on Google. That sucks, man. We're about 10 cents too early on that. We will finish our day at the highest spot. So that's it, man. We're really pleased. Good day overall. And yeah, man, I'm excited. Kids got gymnastics, kids got soccer, and it's going to be a good day in the Katina household.
Yeah, that Amazon coming in. Tesla finally gives it up. So I'm not seeing Tesla on the list here. Maybe I just missed it. Usually it would be one of these bigger ones, but no Tesla that I can see on this imbalance list. But Tesla does give up that consolidation there. So, I mean, I had the price right. I just had it at the wrong time. short back down through 183.60, and you get that 183, exactly what I was looking for previously. But you know, if you're in at the wrong time, you can't make money unless you're just holding things against you like a maniac, which we have talked about a couple times this week. That ain't the play. But yeah, no, Tesla finally does do the pullback. Was looking like it wanted to be the name that held up and kept going into the close, but no, finally we give it all up. I guess that 2.5 billion sell on the market was enough to push Tesla back.
Katrina's the best. No, because the reason why I say this, well, multiple reasons, but so congratulations. We did get your email, Giants, whatever your thing was. Thank you for emailing us. Your book is en route. But Katrina responds to the email, hola. That was the best. So shout out to Katrine, man. That means a lot. I just think it's special that we have these relationships, and that's really cool because that was awesome. And thank you again. I'm not going to put your name on blast, but thank you so much for getting a hold of us and for entering the contest. So there it is again. We just gave away Anchored View Up, and you get the Ola email. I mean, that's almost worth more than the book. I mean, I agree. That was a great one there. Ola. All right. Now, I'm almost out of everything. So what we can talk about is we have NVIDIA tomorrow. Katrina, I was just saying how I loved your response to that email. You said, hola. That was really awesome right there. So, okay, yeah, NVIDIA tomorrow. What are you thinking? We don't have to call prices, but you thinking up, down, lower, higher?
I don't know. I feel like
it's a tough one. I'm pretty
yeah, it's a pretty tough one because we have pulled back $15 off the high, but what's that on a $300 stock? Like, I don't know. Is that 5%?
We just talked about it, man. 6%.
Yeah. Basically 5% we pulled back off the high. So yeah, I mean, I just think we're still kind of priced to perfection on NVIDIA. I think, more news is going to, I feel like we dump off the earnings, then some good news about AI comes out, and then we rip back through the highs. So I feel like we see like 280 tomorrow. Maybe they beat earnings today, but maybe the expectation isn't so
lofty.
Isn't as lofty as you'd expect.
I just worry about the guide. I know the numbers are going to come out. I just want to see what Jepsen Wong, what the team at NVIDIA has to say about their future endeavors. I mean, yeah. I think because we just heard so many times over and over again. We heard Jim Cramer talk about this, and I just keep saying his name because he's like enthralled with NVIDIA. So named his dog NVIDIA. So I'm only saying that because again, it's so loved on the street everywhere that if there's one little slip up, kind of like how Google slipped up on Bard. Do you remember? They had their, it wasn't an earnings call, but they had like their demo day and it wasn't the greatest. And we saw them get killed and then Microsoft the other way. Since then, we've obviously seen a change in guard there on that. So I would expect something. The name that interests me the most, and we have, NVIDIA interests me the most, but on the retail side, we have Macy's right there. We talked about that. Obviously, Disney's there as well in the imbalance locator. We'll see that some names are flipping around. But it's Gap and GPS. So they said no to Kanye. He's gone now. Although I say Adidas because that's the way you say it in German company. But there's Gap, and these guys, they switched their CEO. I believe they got a CEO bump, and I'm gonna have to find out when that was. I feel like they were really doing poorly. So I feel like it was almost in October. Maybe they switched CEOs and they got a really great bump off that. But that 15, huge rejection, man. You're under the 200, you're well under the 50. Look at this slope. And I don't want to say I'm nervous, I'm not in the name, but I feel like this is one where we could be disastrous. It's at 52-week lows as we speak right now for Gap. The short interest, and this is the one thing it's always had, a pretty decent short interest Gap has. So 13.5%, that's actually, I would have hitched the wagon on 20.
Like 30
yeah,
before.
yeah. So I think that's come down a little bit. So again, anything good, probably blast this name. So I'm wondering if some kind of back and forth play on here, covered calls. I don't know what you want to do on this, but Gap to the upside tomorrow is a good possibility. It's down today at 52-week lows. I would have liked to see that a little bit higher, but they're definitely worrisome to me. Like a 2.7 market cap. That's not very big. So we'll wait to see what happens against that revenue with that market cap. So there are reasons for for this name to go to the upside. But if they miss, it's already hated, and the shorts will win. And I think it has a chance also to be a very, very dramatic move. I feel like we'll be tweeting about this one tomorrow. That's Gap. And we can go over the earnings. There's a few on the board if we wanted to. But just real quick, Ford, again, we're pretty much out of everything. That was a great fill down there at 31 that we're able to get. So let's just put the rest here. I'm just going to put the rest. We're going to have earnings in a second, just got told. So I'm going to put the rest of this bid at 33. If it hits, it hits. And then Amazon still 50 cents in the money and trying to break this low. My stop's right here, 116.85. All right, let's go take a look at earnings.
All good. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, the big one, guys, is going to be NVIDIA. Snowflake on this board as well. UiPath, a little Kathy Wood action coming through after the close tonight as well, guys.
Good call. That was another one we did like. Thanks for bringing that up, Brandon. That was a good one. Snowflake, obviously, it's on the board there. I really like Snowflake. I feel like if you liked Palantir and what they were saying, I feel like Snowflake is just another one of those big data names that you're going to be able to watch out for with very, very similar applications like Foundry and whatnot. So watch out for Snowflake coming through there. It would be interesting if they got some more retail business like Palantir did and brought it more into the corporate side instead of the government side. So we'll see about their contracts and what's going on with Snowflake. I do like that name.
Yep, UiPath too. Decent short interest on that one. So we got like 8.6% on UiPath. So maybe if they blow it out tonight, then we could see something tomorrow. I think this one's a decent trader. I feel like I've traded UiPath in the past. They've done 10 million shares today, so I guess.
I like UiPath, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a name where I was caught long one day. Okay, Katrine, 40 seconds. I was caught long one day, and then a Hindenburg or something, Citron I think it was, came out. And I actually remember we got out, we put a stop order in, told everybody about it, got out there in the pre-market and wound up losing like $2 or $3. But it was $34. I don't know, it's probably in the teens, if not lower right now. Oh,
16.
Is it 16? Yeah, okay, so there you go. UiPath, another one of those Kathy Wood names. You nailed that one for sure. Okay, it's 3:59:30. What a great show. I hope everyone hit the like button. We had a big time guest for you today, Brian Shannon, and we were really happy with that. But new BFF for me. Okay, here we go. Countdown ready to go, and we'll hit it right now. It's going to be Miss Katrine on the bell there today with Trader TV Live. Oh, we get a little dance action there. All right, only 5 seconds left, and we'll hit that bell. So let's go. We'll leave it on Miss Katrine. 2 and 1. Oops, triggered out. Amazon does not trigger me, so I'm gonna have to punch out of Amazon right now because we didn't get a huge fill, but we get one. There it is. We'll get one in the 60s there and get out of Amazon. So end of the day, real good. We're happy with everything. Let's go to Brendan to find out exactly where these markets finished.
Yeah, unfortunately pretty red here, guys, as we wrap things up with all attention still on debt ceiling negotiations. There was a note I just saw that came across just before the bell there. McCarthy going to be on Kudlow at 4 o'clock. So essentially right now, I mean, doubtful it's going to be anything meaningful, but a heads up on that. 1% there for the Russell 2000 leading as far as decliners. A little bit of a move back down for regional banks today. 0.5%, 0.6 for the NASDAQ 100 and the composite when all is said and done. About 0.75 there for the Dow and S&P as we continue to wait and see.
What was crude there, Brendo? Sorry. Okay, he's going to find that out for us. Yeah, all the markets blasting a little bit today and then pulling back. We're going to wait for, blasting to the downside, making a move back up to the upside there today. So we'll see if we get any different movement from those reports. Max, you've survived, man. It's hump day. It's over with. 2 more days, and then you can relax. Good luck at golf today.
Thank you.
Looking sharp in that, and yeah, you're going to have some fun with the boys. That should be a lot of fun. I think the weather's beautiful outside
nice.
right now, so you definitely deserve that, man. Congratulations on a big day for yourself as well. So pretty happy with that, and just happy. I hope everyone had a great day today. Thanks to Prad for working the 1s and 2s. This guy has not lost a step, so thank you, Prad, for that. Big shout out to Obi for covering, man. We were not expecting that. Maroon had some technical difficulties, so thank you to Obi. I just tell you what it is. His charting software wasn't working that great on that computer. So we're going to try to figure that out and hopefully have him back. So a big shout out to Obi for filling that out. Thanks to Sharif as per usual. Thank you, Sharif, for showing us those workout videos. I mean,
yes.
Come on, that meant a lot to all of us. You see what kind of a beast that guy is. And a big thanks. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you to everybody viewing today. Thanks, Barry vs. Bulls. Thank you to Streamlabs. Thanks to Brian Shannon for coming through with the Anchored VWAP book right there. Great book. Told you it was a bear day, and there it is right there. Yeah, great interview, Brendan. Good job on that.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure for sure. Brian, if you're watching, come back anytime. Obviously, great insight. Great tool as well. As I was mentioning, I got through the book on the weekend, and it was a ton of information, but really interesting when you dig into how it works and why it works the way it works. So anyone who's interested, have a look at that.
All righty then. Yeah, thanks, Brendo. Yeah, I agree 100% with that, and that's what I was telling Brian. Very easy to read and great visuals as well. The only thing is that, you know, I'm trying to get new features, Brendan, into our software, and it's going to have to get tested and everything like that.
How's that going?
So we'll see how Anchor VWAP is into the platform. So, okay, it's 4:03. NVIDIA's not out. We're kind of delaying in case it does come out, but it's not out yet.
4:20, I think.
Yes, yeah, not for a bit. So stay tuned. We'll tweet it out if we find it. But thank you again for watching. I hope all your positions are profitable ones based on these earnings reports. So let's get going. We're really excited. Big day tomorrow, lots to cover, and we're back at 8:30. So for Max, Brendan, I'm Sean. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls.